Well, we did it. Well, you guys did it, not me, really. But the channel hit 4,000 subscribers. So thank you all so much for all of you that have been here since the beginning or have joined along the way, recently hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much. I can't believe it. I'm super stoked. And yeah, there's a giveaway on the other side. So let's get into it. Take 66. What's good, peacemakers? Welcome back to another episode of the Piece for Peace Crafting Podcast. I'm Michael, and this is my crafty corner of the YouTube universe. If you would like to follow me on other social medias, you can do so by following me over on Ravelry as Piece for Peace Craft, or on Instagram as Piece for Peace Crafting. And if you like music, there is a playlist that goes along with this podcast at Piece for Peace Crafting Podcast playlist over on Spotify. If you have trouble finding that, please reach out to me. If you have Instagram, it's easier for me to share the link there than down in the comments here on YouTube. Hackers, it's a no for me. Anything that I talk about in this episode will be linked down below, so feel free to hit the more button, I think it is now. If you want to see any patterns, yarns, all that good stuff that I chat about in this episode. Sweet, so what's going on, y'all? I'm super excited, obviously, as you could tell from the opening, that we not finally, because honestly, I'm not like I guess that sounds weird. I'm not like pushing for more subscribers. Like, I would love it. That's cool. I want to build the community, but I don't want it to seem like I'm like trying to not pay for people, but you know what I mean? Like, oh, please, whatever. Anyway, if you're enjoying the content, I'm happy that you're here and that you subscribed. I'm so excited to keep building the community before I make myself sound ridiculous. So let's get that little giveaway out of the way right now. So I said if we hit 4,000 that I would give away this mini set. So this is the the Ziggy Zebra mini snap set. It's a set of 6 minis. They are twist fingering with a zebra effect, 75-25 merino, superwash merino nylon. So it's 510 yards for 120 grams. This is from Ginger Snap. I picked this up while we were at Knit City, Montreal. And so, yeah, I want to give one of you this fun little set. So they're really cool. I love the zebra effects with the black yarn going all the way through them, and I think they glow in the dark, so that's really dope too. So let's say we'll do like comments in we'll do comments in the comment section. I'll say let's leave a comment, and then when I pull the winner like the next episode, then if you could just reach out to me on Instagram or on Ravelry, that's the easiest for me to like get people's information, and I will send this baddie out to you. Let's say, what should the prompt be? I don't know. Something fun about black lights, because they glow in the dark. So, or under black lights. So leave a comment and just say black light. Be creative if you want. Or just write what you want to say, and then at the end just say black light. That's also hilarious. All right, you all. So it's been 2 weeks. I, again, am recording on a Monday. So today's July 3rd, 2023. It's been 2 weeks. This past weekend has been really crazy. One of my good friends is staying with me, so we've just been like hanging out. It was like rainy one day, which really put a damper in it. And then just didn't like being able to go out. And another day, we just like putzed around and hung out. Okay, no, that's a lie. So on this past Saturday, I'm gonna go backwards in time because if you've been here for a while, you know what is time. So on Saturday, you all, last week sometime, or the week before maybe, last week sometime, I was perusing Instagram and I saw there is a shop that's close to me, Evanston Stitchworks. Shout out to them. They will post on their Instagram sometimes like, oh, we're having like a sale table that's outside of the shop, or come by, whatever, peruse. So I logged onto Instagram one day and saw that they posted a photo that was like, they're doing some cleaning. Everything that's on the table outside is free. Come by, snag what you want. And so I was looking at the picture. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so fun. Wish I weren't at work. And saw that there was a sewing machine there. So I DM'd, I called. I was being a little bit much, very extra. And the sewing machine was already snagged. And like I'd seen the post like 4 minutes after it was posted. So I was like, oh yeah, I figured as much. But they sent me a DM and said, hey, we have another one if you would like to come and get it. So I did the next day. So I have acquired a sewing machine. I don't have it here to show you because on Saturday, this is when I'm telling the story. On Saturday, my friend and I drove it over to, there's like a Singer distributor outlet or factory here. And so I took it there just to like have them look at it, clean, oil, do all the thingies, and before I like get it back and start learning. I think I'm probably gonna take like a introductory class there when I go and pick it up, which I think would be really cool. So I don't need a new hobby, but I might be starting a new hobby. You know what I mean? So definitely sewing is going to be in my future. If you've been here for a while, you know that one of my roommates, she acquired a sewing machine maybe last summer. And I think I'm going to take hers in too because we haven't used it. That way we can both learn together and yeah, just start making things. I feel like that's really going to be the vibe. If the two of us can do it together, yeah, I feel like it would just be really cool to like have a buddy. We can sit down, we can craft things, we can like learn how to use our sewing machines together. Mine is an old school Singer from the 70s. I think they said 71, 72. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, it works. Like we plugged it in and it like definitely works. So yeah, I'm excited about that. So if you know of any places where there are cool like male identifying patterns or patterns for male identifiers, shapes, more broad people, taller people, drop those down below too. That would be really cool. Or you can reach out to me on Instagram. I've been doing some looking around too, and like other podcasters that I follow, maybe they sew a little bit and I'm like, oh, let me go back to this episode or their Instagram page and find what this thing was because I want to look up what that pattern is so that I can hopefully in the future buy it to start sewing. Crazy. So crazy. Other than that, work's been work. Max from Les Garçons was here 2 weeks ago. I think that was before, or I think that was after my last episode. So if I already talked about this, I'm sorry. But him and Tanya came into town, and so I got to show them around a little bit, which was really nice for a couple days. No, this was after my last episode. So that was really fun having them here and getting to show off the city a little bit because I love having people in Chicago and taking them not to the touristy spots, but like for me, living in the city, the neighborhoods are really where the city shines. Yes, if you're like in the downtown area, there's like all the touristy things to do down there. But if you really want to see the city, you got to get out of that because it is a trap. So that was cool. What else? Oh, I think I talked about this last time. Like for work, we were preparing for this thing that was going to be in the park. That performance went well. I was really proud of my students for the work that they did in that show. They performed in front of like 75,000 people, which was really cool for them. I felt like a proud little parent standing in the wing, like watching. I was like, oh my gosh, you guys did it. Anyway, so that's what I've been up to. Yeah, other than that, things are the same. It's been kind of gross here. Like all the love to everyone who is in Canada, our northern friends who are dealing with the wildfires. We definitely got some of that smoke, and like it was like wear a mask, don't go outside if you don't have to. Put your AC units on to help filter the air in your apartment for a few days here. So that was kind of crazy. Just that it's like, yeah, you know, weather. It's traveling and affecting other people while it is truly affecting people that live in that area. So things have been a little bit wild, I will say that. But today it's really beautiful. I think the air has been good the past 2 days. It rained like all day yesterday, so I would assume that helped clear some things up. I don't know why I assume that. I just do. I'm like, oh, well, isn't the rain cleaning the air? Probably not. Maybe. So it's beautiful outside today. I got to go over to the lake this morning with my coffee, which was really nice. Just swim for a little bit. I'm probably going to go back again later because it's going to be hot today, which I'm excited for. Yeah, other than that, things are good. Happy to be sitting back down with all of you. And it's been 2 weeks because my last episode I definitely filmed on a Monday as well. So let's get into it, shall we? I have no tier FOs this week. I was really trying for one of the things that I'm working on. So it's just, this episode literally is a whip parade. I have 4 whips to show you all. And then some things that like have shown up in my life. We'll talk about that later. One of the things I have to show you, I thought I was going to finish, but then realized, like, as I was working on it, this is a lot. There's no way I'm going to finish it. So, where should we start, friends? Let's start here, because this is actually about to fall, and I don't want it to. All right. Yeah, let's start here. Okay, so the last time we gathered, this is falling. So profesh. All right, the last time we chatted, I told you all that I had started the Yesteryears sweater by Maxim Zier, and yeah. It's going great. I think I'd started the color work, and we talked about last time how I'd ran out of one of the colors and needed to order more. Well, that more came in, and I could work on it a little bit more. So I'm doing size 5, and I'm using the required needles. So this is US 6, so 4 millimeter, and a US 4, so 3.5 millimeter. Wait, I need this in a second. Okay, so I got the extra skein. Sorry, that like really escaped me. And was able to, let me find the front. Get the color work done, and I split for sleeves. And I've started the body. And this is perfect because I just ran out of one of the blues, so it's a little puckery right now, but I think that will lay flat. So I need to attach them, and I was worried that I should like fade the new one in, but the color seemed really similar, so I was like, whatever, it's fine. So I'm knitting these out of Les Garçons and their British Aran weight. And the natural color is natural, and then the blue is Louis shade. And yeah, I'm loving it. I think it actually looks way better on camera than it does just in real life. The color work was super fun. I'm sad it's over. I enjoyed doing it. Like I said last time, I thought that there was a lot of puckering, but I do think like I can stretch it out and it definitely lays flat, so I'm excited about that. There's a couple areas down here that I've been slightly worried about, but I think it's gonna be fine because of the way that I caught the floats. I left enough slack in the floats so that it would definitely have room to spread out once it was blocked. Once I finished the color work, I did need to extend the yoke a little bit. So it's a round yoke, it's not a raglan. And so I extended it just like maybe 1.5 inches to get it to where I wanted to sit under my armpit, which was totally fine before I split for the sleeves. And now that I am there and just have like that little tail, a part of me wants to cast on the sleeves now and get them done with, especially since there's like not a ball of yarn or a cake of yarn attached to the bottom of this. I kind of think that I might just pick up the sleeves and do those now. That way when I'm trying it on, I know, because it'll pull it up a little bit. Once the sleeves are attached, I'll know what the proper fit is for this. I'm slightly nervous I'm gonna run out of yarn, but I think I have four, maybe 5 skeins left of the blue. I think I should be fine, in all honesty. Because it's a rounded yoke, and when I tried it on, it was sitting lower than like if I were to do a raglan. So I think I'll be fine for not running out of yarn. I've probably done about 4 inches of the body so far. So yeah, this is the Yesteryears. I'm loving it. I can't wait for it to be done because, well, I mean, I can. It's like 80 degrees outside, 80 plus. I'm not going to be wearing this anytime soon. Actually, I still need to take photos of the other sweater that I finished of his. It's just been like rainy or gross, or you can't breathe when you go outside. Maybe I'll do those today. Yeah, so this is the Yesteryears. It's coming along swimmingly. Yeah, really enjoying it. I love the colors, working with the yarn. The combination for the yarn is, it's a Massam and BFL, so 75-25 BFL, 25% Massam wool, and it just feels amazing. And I've been joining, well, I only had to do one so far. The blues, when I ran out, I just picked out some of the end of the tail. I just like untwisted it maybe like 1 inch or 2 so that it was giving fringe, and then did that to the new one, put all the layers together, and then wet felted them together. So less ends to weave in the end, and it looks great. Like even where I joined it, I actually don't remember and can't really tell right now. So hopefully when I block it, I still won't be able to tell. So that's that. Good times. Really enjoying that knit. All right, next up, let's do this. So like I feel like I've talked about this before, but I'm going to talk about it again. Back before the pandemic, I was playing around in our wardrobe department and like figured out how to make a project bag. And we've talked about these. These used to be pants. Now they're a project bag with a fun pink liner. So I know how to sew a little bit, but not like reading a pattern and like doing the darn thing. So this bag is holding, let's do this page, my Frank Shawl by Joji Locatelli. And this one is just a really it's a simple garter stitch shawl. And of course I don't have the page I really want. It's done. Oh, I have the needles though. Duh. So this is knit on US 5s. And it's just a garter stitch, but the cool thing is it's done in pieces. So I've done one of the sides, and now I have to go in and start this side, and then this big middle section will be last. And so I just finished the one triangle. So here is that. For this, I'm using Rose Hill yarns, and the first two colors are, wait, I have them here. I'm so prepared. Are okay. The brown is Silty Rocks, and the variegated is Spring Thaw. So this, you start here, the little tab, do this big brown section, and then you start making the stripes, and there's a little lace eyelet rows separating them. Yeah, and so I finished this one stripe. I think the last time I just had one more to go. And so you finish it, and then you put it on like waist yarn. I bought those little pony lace cords, and so I've put them on there just so that I could spread it out a little bit more and see how it looks. I'm loving the color. And I'll repeat this exact same process with the opposite side. And then like for the third section, there's a way to pick up everything so that then the whole thing is together. So that Silty Rock is this like coppery brown. It's definitely tonal. It has some dark spots in it, some light spots in it, which is really beautiful. And then this is going to be the main throughout. And then my next color that I'm joining for the opposite side is going to be this rock melt color. So it'll be these two together. So it definitely is having more saturation of those colors. So like there's more browns and that like light seafoamy blue in there. And I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, there you go. And yeah, so the other side is going to be a little bit darker, and then I'll do my darkest in the middle to sort of tie them all together instead of doing a fade going all the way across. This has been really great because it's so mindless. It's just garter stitch, you know, do some increases in certain spots. It is a 4-row repeat. And so the repeat is very memorizable. Yeah. And so I can kind of just like go and then check off where I am in the pattern as I'm going through and doing the repeats for it. But I'm loving it. Oh my gosh. I'm loving it so far. I think the colors are really beautiful, and it's going to make for a really pretty shawl in the end. Yeah, cool. One side done. All right, actually, let's put this pattern in this bag. Because Lord knows I will leave something somewhere and then be searching all over the house, even though it can be in like one of 2 places, maybe 3. All right, so that's my Frank shawl. We're loving it. Oh, the needle should go in there too. Okay, next up is, let's continue on the knitting train. All right, 1 second, please. All right, the next thing I'm working on is living in my little Beautiful Sister mushroom bag. I don't remember where I picked this up. Someplace where I saw them and I was like, oh, right, I need another bag from you all. So living in here is, wait, did I have? Oh yeah, it's here. Is my Woolens And Nosh yarn club for the month of June. So it's the mystery yarn club. Really excited. I can't stop saying it enough that I was able to get into it because this is only the 2nd month that I've been doing it, but I love the colors. of the first month and now the second month. So everyone should have theirs by now. And there's been a thing up on Instagram showing what the reveal is of the stripes, so I'm not going to worry about that. I will show you though what it looks like caked up. Let's do that. So this was the cake. It's called Berry Basket, I believe. The tag, of course, is not in my bag, because why would it be? So this is Berry Basket. If it's not, then just go to her Instagram and find out what the real color is called. And it came with this little purple mini. And so I, again, wound everything into one ball and then weighed it and then separated them into two so that I could get matching socks. And for these, if you were here last time, I wanted to try doing the toes, heels, and cuffs because I realized that I could do all three with socks for my size. And so when I weighed the mini, it was more than 20 grams, which can happen. So I felt even more confident in doing so. And so I cast them on with, are you ready? Ooh. I cast them on with the minis, so that purple, and then just started the striping with the blue, because that was the first color that was like on the tail end of me winding it. And so when I went to split them into two, I just made sure that I started with the blue again, but the light was a little dim, and so I accidentally stopped 2 colors short of it, but it's whatever. So I had to cut a little bit out, but it's okay. Yeah, and here's where we are so far. So these are just toe-up socks. I'm missing a little stopper thing. They're toe-up socks on a US 1, so 2.25. I do a Turkish cast on and then increase to 68 stitches, and then we'll just knit until they're high enough. I put markers in at about 7 3/4 of an inch. So I just knit. I stick in, I have one of those, like, you know, one of those rulers that you can put in socks. And yeah, once it gets to about 7 3/4 of an inch, I will just put markers on that row. And luckily these stopped in the middle of this pink row. So the purple will go in there, which I think will be really fun. And so, yeah, I'm over halfway done with these. I usually do, since I do them toe up, I usually go until the top, or like if I fold them in half at the heel markers, so that, so like I go like this, right? Because the heel's there. I'd usually knit until where the toe is, and then I'll start my ribbing for the top of it. So that's cool. Excited to be working on these. Actually, when I went to cake these up, I was in a ball winding mood that day, and I caked up 3 different sets of socks. So, because I was like, once these are done, then I don't have to worry about caking up another one. Like, I have some ready to go. And so, yeah, that was a fun day. I was just like, sat down, put some music on, and was like, winding away. I had a lot to wind. I think I was also doing like the stuff for the Yesteryears. Oh, and then, yeah, something else I needed to cake up. And so I was like, oh, let me just do all these socks since I know that these are ones that I want to make soon. So anyway, Woolens and Nosh, that was a really wild tangent. That just fell. Woolens and Nosh Mystery Yarn Club for the month. This episode's a disaster. For the month of June. We love it. So hopefully the next time you see these will be complete. Last week I was working on these. I had to check people in, like at the front desk, which is not something I normally do at work. And so I would just sit there and knit and then like when kids would show up, I just press the little button to let them in. That was a good time. All right, last up for the whips is a little bit of crochet. So like I told you all, I've been working on the Overprint bag, which is from issue number 44 of Pom Pom Quarterly. You all, I'm so sad. I was doing so good at keeping these magazines like really nice looking, but then I started shoving this one in my backpack and it really is like a problem now. Anyway, so this is the Overprint bag. It's by Julia Maddle. Here it is on the back of it. Really cute. Supposed to resemble like a plastic bag you would get from the grocery store. And yeah, I've made some really good progress on it. I thought for sure that this was gonna be done this episode because I'm like, oh, I'm pretty quick with crocheting. But I think in my head I had less to do than I really did. So yeah, I kept reading in the pattern. I was like, oh my gosh, I got to do this and this and this. So right, it isn't going as quickly as I thought, but it is still going quickly. So my colors that I'm using they're all KnitPicks. That was a good catch. Comfy, which is a sport weight, and it's 136 yards for 50 grams, and it's 75-25, 75 Pima cotton, 25 acrylic. So it's the Comfy. I'm liking working with it. It's a little it's a little splitty, just I'm finding. But so the colors I'm using this is all I have left of the honey. This is Hollyberry, and my last color was Marina. So these are my 3 that will make my squares. And then the main color is this hawk color. So these are the 4. I have 2 left of the hawk and a little bit of what I'm working with now. So I should have plenty, but I think I'll have enough to finish it. So I think the last time, maybe I was still working on one of the panels for the side, but let me make sure I have this right. I've actually gotten more than I thought done. Pieced it together. Oh my god, it looks so cute. Now I will admit, for me, the front and the back are the same, like the colors are on the same sides. But then when I was looking at the way that they pieced it together, it's definitely supposed to have like these 2 Hollyberry colors should be the same on the opposite side, so that when you stitch them together underneath, like the reds are together, but it's not. Like one has gray, and honestly, I don't care. Another silly thing that I did is once I connected all of the pieces together, this little top edge, I just missed that you were supposed to switch while going around. And so I just went in the round for 4 rows, but the look of it, I think it looks fine. So it's okay. Also, I tried my hardest to mattress stitch all of the squares together, and I probably tried 5 or 6 times, and it just wasn't looking like a standard that I would want for myself. Like I just couldn't get it to look nice, and like part of that was me thinking like maybe it's the blend of the material, so the cotton and the acrylic, which wasn't making it like a smooth slide to like close up the mattress stitch. And like I've done it for a hoodie before in knitting, and I know the stitches are different, and so like whatever, but and that was just using like 100% wool, but it really wasn't working out. And so instead of getting frustrated and being like, oh, I'm over this, I just decided to piece all the things together just using like a slip stitch join, but instead of going through both V's, I only went through the outside ones, so that if you look at the bag, you can see like it still has like a nice clean edge to it versus doing the two. So in the inside, it definitely has the, well, you can't really see. It definitely has like a little ridge to where they connect, but that's fine because it's inside the bag. Also inside the bag is, hold it like this, a little pocket. And there's one on each side, which is really nice. So yeah, I joined everything together. Oh my gosh, something's in my eye now. The panels, the side panel I think is what I was working on last time. So those got connected and sewn together. So like definitely has that plastic bag vibe with the little gusset. And then the bottom's just like, I did the same thing, going through, doing that little slip stitch to join. And then the outsides have a nice little crochet or single crochet to just like make the two look really neat. So I'm currently working on one of the straps. So I got, I don't know, what, 8 rows of one of the parts of the strap done. Oh my gosh, whatever's in my eye, get out. One of the straps done, and so I need to do 4 of these sides before I join them together, and then just do a little bit of finishing on it around the edges to make it look nice and neat. I can't remember if I talked about this. My gauge for the little squares is bigger than what the person was in the pattern, and so this bag for me is definitely going to be a little bit bigger than what it was originally supposed to be. I think the squares are supposed to be like 4.5 inches, and I'm getting like 5.5. So I do think I'm going to have enough yarn. I have tried to tighten up my stitches a little bit just to get them slightly closer, but I didn't want to drop down a hook size. It's already on a B hook, so a 2.25, and the thought of going down to an A was a chop for me. So yeah, it's whatever. It's going to be a little bit bigger of a bag, which is great because then I can put more stuff in it. So this is the Overprint bag. I'm obsessed. I can't wait for it to be done. Hopefully by the next episode too. Because at this point, it's just like to do the straps, I'm just going over a few stitches, and it only needs to go to a certain number of inches, and then I can do the rest before joining them all together. So that's that. This is living in one of those fringe supply bags, which honestly, now that I have a sewing machine, I think I'm going to get that pattern for the bag since they don't make them anymore, and try to make another one of these. Actually, try to make the bigger version of one of these. So that's that. Good times. So those are all the things that I've been working on. I have a couple more things to show you though. If you're not into seeing like fun yarny things, I completely understand. Now's your time to say peace out. Thank you so much for coming. Actually, it's just a couple of things, you guys. So, for anybody who wants to stick around for it. So, when I had to order more of the natural color from Les Garçons, I decided to throw some other things in the cart. Like I said, I thought it was silly for me to just order one skein of yarn and have that shipped. And so I picked up some of their British 4-ply. This is in the fingering weight, and this is Ellie's Childhood Home. So this is, again, that 75/25 BFL Massam yarn, and it's non-superwash. This is in the fingering, and it's Ellie's Childhood Home. I am thinking, oh, also the rest of this is brought to you in part by Boutique Les Garçons. It's crazy. I was looking at all the stuff on my table and I'm like, this is absurd, but I love it. So this is, this fun blue color. It's really pretty, tealy. I think that this is going to end up being a So Basic. That's what I have in my head that it's gonna be, but we shall see. I got enough. I got a sweater quantity, so it's whatever. Yeah, so that's thing one. And then also in that shipment is, I didn't take any of this out of the bag because I wanted to show it, although today I'm gonna do my swatch. But I signed up to be a sample knitter for them. I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about that, but I'm talking about, I think it's fine. To be a sample knitter for them, just so they can show more of their products in their yarn, or show products in their yarn. And so I got this little kit, and I'm gonna be doing a shawl, which I'll talk about later once I start it, because I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head, and I still need to print out the pattern. But I did think that the colors that they picked for what they want the sample to be in is really beautiful. So these are all in the same base too that I just talked about, right? No, this is the sport weight, but same yarn content. So this is Minnie's Wheat. This is Edith's Butler. This is, I can't read, Abador's Water. This one is, I can't read that. I can't read the tag right now. And then this one doesn't have a label, but I think it's just a natural. Yeah, so these will soon become a shawl. I'm gonna start working on that because I need to get it back to them soon. Love the colors. I'm loving this fiber content. Like, that's what the sweater is. You all already know. It's kind of my new fave. And then the last thing I have to show you is when I went to take my sewing machine in to get cleaned and looked at and all that jazz, my friend and I were like, oh, let's just like walk around this neighborhood for a little bit. And we were close to the Blooming Spindle, which is a new yarn shop here in Chicago. And one of the times that I was in there, she talked about me making a shop sample for her. And so I just popped in and we were chatting, and she was like, oh, are you still interested? I said yes. Got the things that I need to make for the shop sample for her. Again, all of this is in Boutique Les Garçons. This is their DK. So this is 100%, I can't read. 100% superwash BFL? Is that what that says? Maybe. My poor eyes. So these are the 3 colors that we picked up, or that she chose for that. Ooh, so this is Kirby's Pink. This one is, oh, this is Abador's Water. I hope I'm saying that right. And this one is Meredith's Gray, which is such a good gray. So these 3 are going to become, I think the pattern's the Unbearable hoodie, with this as like mostly the main. This is gonna be an accent color, and then the gray is gonna be the rest of the sweater. Yeah, so I gotta start working on this too. Apparently I'm doing a lot of sample knitting, which is really fun. Yeah, I mean, anything to like, I'm gonna be making stuff anyway, so if people, especially friends, are like, oh, would you be willing, would you want to? Yeah, totally. That sounds like fun. So there's a lot coming up down the pike. And yeah, I'm really just, I think I said this last time too, I'm really just enjoying everything I'm working on right now. I feel like there's a lot of creativity in the air, and I hope you all are feeling that too. If you want to cast something on, cast it on. Like, it's okay to have 95 whips. Who's judging you? No one. And if they are, boo to them. I'm gonna keep just, chugging along on everything. All right, so last thing is a little music recommendation for this episode. So while Max and Tanya were here, we definitely hit up a couple record stores, and while I shouldn't be buying any more music, I was buying music, mostly because I like buying things that like I don't see very much, or that I know are a little bit like, oh, there's only, one of these in this shop, I haven't seen this, let me snag it. And so one of those things was the Gold Experience. This Prince album. I don't own it. I hadn't really seen it very much out in stores, and it was a new copy, which was really cool. Fun thing about this, I think this was the first album where he was going by the symbol, so that's fun. This is a great album. Obviously, I bought it, so that means I like listening to the whole thing. I think a couple jams off of here that I would recommend are The Most Beautiful Girl in the World, like total bop. 319, I think, is a fun song. And Gold, the ending track of the album. So yeah, Prince's The Gold Experience, good times. If you have been here for a while, you know I love Prince. I mean, my coffee mug has Prince on it. Huge fan. Oh, R.I.P. Prince. Anywho, all right, you all. Well, I think that about wraps up everything that I was meant to show you all for this episode. I hope it was enjoyable for you. Again, if you would like to win the Ginger Snap Minis, remember to just leave blacklight in the comments below. Make it creative if you wish. I will pull a winner for that next time. I would love to send those out to one of you for us hitting 4,000 subscribers. And if you are watching and you enjoyed what you have seen thus far, there's a bunch of episodes that you can go back and watch, and you can always feel free to hit the subscribe button. It costs you nothing, but it throws me into the algorithm to make sure that more people are finding me and we are building a better community together. So yeah, feel free to do all that fun stuff, and I hope everyone has a wonderful 2 weeks. And if you're in the States and you're celebrating for the 4th, have a good time. I hope your pets all have some sort of anxiety medication if they don't deal with the fireworks and loud noises. Luckily, Kendrick, I didn't have him last year for the 4th, but they have, because people have been like setting them off already. And last night we had a crazy thunderstorm, so it was like very loud, and he could not be bothered. Like, he just will like look at me and then curl up and go back to sleep. I'm like, yes, I know it was loud. Great that you're unbothered by it. But if your pet is not that way, then I wish you all the best for the next couple of days while people are just like making loud things go pop. Yeah. And until I see all of you all in the next one, make a piece, spread some peace. Peace.